shortly. Mustangs. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Andrew. We are in my shop here in beautiful Maple Ridge, British Columbia, working on my 68 Mustang J-Code, nicknamed Felony, with a bullet hole in the trunk. As I said on the last episode, if you're just catching up, this is my 68 Mustang I picked up in Lodi, California. Tried to get it running and driving to drive it home. Failed, trucked it home, stored it in Bellingham, got it up here. Now we're tearing it apart to make it a bitchin' hot rod for Hot Rod Power Tour this summer. We got about 70 days left. As you saw from the earlier clips, I'm pulling the motor out right now. I'm just about ready to start cracking the bell housing loose and the torque converter bolts, and then we're gonna take the carb off, hook up the lift plate, and pluck this thing out of here. So it's getting down to H-hour. Exhaust, transmission, lift plate. Then I'll grab my cherry picker and we'll pluck this thing out of here. Never to harm anyone again until I rebuild it and put it back in here. All right, let's do it. So, going to take the headers off the exhaust, and you know, I've always thought like, oh, this thing sounds like it's got an exhaust leak, like a really bad tick. And well, I figured out why, because this flange has no nuts on it. Those two bottom bolts are completely just dangling. I can take them out. There, uninstalled. One nut barely hanging on up top there. That's garbage. No wonder it was ticking like mad. Do the torque converter bolts here, and then the nuts, and then bell housing, and then we're out. All of it is just grody. Okay, well, pretty much ready to come out. Got the picker here, got the plate on. These studs are both stripped. Hopefully they hold, but seems pretty solid. We'll find out once we tilt it up and test it out. But exhaust is off, the bell housing bolts are separated, the torque converter is separated, the wiring is off, fuel line off. What else? Motor mount nuts are off so the bolts can come out. So I'm gonna throw the hook on the plate. We'll take the weight off, separate the transmission, take the bolts out, and we'll pluck this thing. All in all, like filming kind of doubles the time, but realistically, probably 2 hours I could have had this out straight top to bottom. So going back in is gonna be really easy, especially because a lot of stuff's gonna be out of the way. Yahtzee. Engine is out. I'm gonna leave the transmission for tomorrow. I'm kind of wiped right now, and I just cleaned the floor and it's all soaking wet. I don't want to crawl around down there. Also don't want the quick jacks to leave like all rusty shit on the bottom because I'm super picky. Gonna clean up a little bit more. We're gonna go through some stuff on the front end, get ready for tomorrow, and then I'll see you right back here. That was really fun. See you in a bit. All right, we're back. Getting a later start today in the afternoon. Sort of picked at it already. The exhaust is out of this thing. We just cut it all up and put it out to the side so I can move it away for scrap. Right now I'm getting ready to drop the drive shaft out of the car, and then we're gonna take the transmission out. It's actually not that big. I might be able to yank it out on my own, so won't be the end of the world. It's actually not that heavy. Fun little tech tip for you. The tail section is the right size, which I think is 2 3/4 inch. Zip tie in a pop bottle will seal it up good enough so you're not puking ATF or gear oil all over your nice floor. I love zip ties. One of these days, I will just simply remember where I put the last tool that I was looking for. Today is not that day. It's not too heavy. Let's see if I can get it. Just barely, just clears. Yeah, sun is gorgeous today. It's like spring. Okay, transmission's out. One more piece off the puzzle. I'm gonna clean all that Exxon Valdez ATF up. Maybe we'll start looking at taking the differential out. Yeah, I got some minor cleanup to do. Oh, this is awkward as f. Would I be defeated by an old transmission? Still got it. Barely. All right, that's gonna be yard art for now. Today, we have to pull out the rear axle, fuel tank, drain the brake lines, and get the fuel line out to make all that happen. So I'm gonna get going on that. Today is gonna be a lot of work. I got a full ass list over there. So gonna get to it. Let's rock and roll, get this thing stripped. Should probably drain the diff fluid, but I don't feel like cracking the third member loose. Probably just gonna undo the junction here. And that'd probably be good. I could probably undo that line there actually. This might be a great idea. It might be really stupid. I'm gonna use this little bit of fluid extraction hose and hook it up to the hard line and let it drip into there. Jack it up. Oh shit, that one's jammed right up. This will break. Or maybe not. Let's see if it goes all the way. The impact gun doesn't want to overcome this last couple threads, so they're pretty gacked. Does, if anything, to just move. That's in. It's also a 12 point out of 6, which really sucks my balls. Oh, that was easy. There's a grommet on the back side you gotta open up, and then you can get the bolt. But the fact that it's even spinning, like, yeah, that's a good sign. Meet my friend Stu Driver. It's a Rugrats reference if you don't know. Ooh, nice and stiff. Yeah, that's probably full of gross things that I really don't want anywhere near me. The penetrating weld did its work. Oh yeah, easy. Drop this sucker down on here. There we go. Beautiful. Saw something while I was crawling around under here looking at stuff. Figured I'd share with you guys. It's kind of funny. So if you look down straight and you look at
the torque boxes. This one, nice and 90, straight up and down. This one, not so much. So something's a little wrecked there. I'm thinking that if I can get a bottle jack with a pole in between them and then press them out, like press against it, it might torque that one proper again. But that whole side of the car is out because that strut rod there, my buddy Tom was like, check your strut rods and that'll tell you if the car is pretty far out of whack, and it is, because this side is way farther adjusted out than the passenger. So it's gonna cause some further investigation, probably put us back a few weeks, but I think I can still handle it. It's pretty tweaked, so something to look at. We're gonna get gas tank out. Oh, there's a bolt in there. Crazy. Easy peasy. Fill our neck out now. Show you a quick little thing for if you're in this situation where you got your Mustang filler neck open, you don't want to breathe in the fumes. I did drain it, but they're still gonna just grab a spray paint can cap with a rag and just slip it over. That'll kind of keep it in there and keep the fumes out your nose while you're yanking it out. So easy peasy. Oh, it stinks in here. All right, I feel like all I'm gonna need is a couple screwdrivers for this, but I guess I will soon find out. Let's see how bad this dash pad is. Pull the dash pad off first. All right, shameless ad plug. 68 Mustang mechanical gauge cluster with all the intact wiring outlets and everything you need. $8,000. Hit me up. I know what I have. No low ballers. Well, the power's out. A dump truck decided to yeet itself into the power lines at the bottom of our street. The entire neighborhood is out. They're doing maintenance on it and clearing the road, and there's massive traffic down there. Working on getting the dash out. The dash pad is halfway out. I literally resorted to just ripping it because I'm pretty certain that it's all just glued in there, so whatever. So I'm gonna rip off the other side and just yank on it, and then I should have access to everything else to just rip all the wiring and HVAC out of there. It's just all glued on here. Good morning. All right, lost power yesterday. Some ding dong decided to leave his dump truck bucket up and tilt over and take out a power pole. Door was stuck open, no lights, my mobile lights died, and it was getting dark, so I just called it. Where I left off, basically all the trim and everything's off the dash pad's out. Found out yesterday that you actually have to undrill all the spot welds to get the metal frame of the dash out, which I don't really know if I'm gonna do yet. I probably should, so that if there's anything wrong with the firewall, I can address that, but I guess I'll take a closer look. Basically, I'm gonna cut the harness probably at the firewall up here, the engine harness and the trans harness and everything, rip it out. I'm gonna rip out all my wiring from the solenoid and everything. Basically, I'm gonna gut the whole thing. and there's gonna be nothing left in the car. This will be the most complete teardown I've ever done. This car is gonna have no lines in it, nothing. It's probably gonna have the steering column and the dash left. So let's get to it. Well, the firewall underneath that looks pretty exceptional, actually. And all this nonsense comes out of here now. I know, with cutting. I don't understand how there's wiring going. Oh, that's the tail light harness and everything, which I forgot I got to strip. There she was. Gone. Okay, one thing I do gotta keep is the wiper motor because it works. But I think you can actually buy remans and knockoffs of these things, so I'm not sure when I put like a full 12 volts to it if it's gonna function properly, but I gotta figure out a switch and a speed control and everything for it. I think it's almost time to drop out the column. Out. Well, pretty well gutted. There's all the wiring, all the junk, there's crap all over the floors, gauges are all out, everything. That was, I ended up cutting a lot of it. I took the die grinder to the main harness and just, because I'm not gonna go through and do, there's splices and crimps and shit everywhere. I'm not gonna go back and redo all that, and there's like an alarm wired in there. That box there is some Viper alarm, there's crimps everywhere, so I literally just zipped it off, and I'm doing a painless kit, so the whole thing's getting rewired anyways. It's all going in the junk bin, it's all going in the dump. Okay, I am back. Had to run a bunch of junk to the recycling and the trash. Basically, all the wiring and junk that I took out of here is out because I'm not hanging on to it, and it's not worth anything. Don't worry, you're not missing out. So right now, I'm going to finish off the teardown for today by taking the front fenders off, and we'll see what it has to reveal. Gonna get right to it. That should be that. Yahtzee. Well, you can see here, that's where it got clobbered. This should be nice and straight through there. It is definitely not. And all these seams are separated. And it looks like they tried to goop in seam sealer or undercoat in there, which I'm sure in here it's probably hiding something similar, but this was all suspect as well. Okay, that's something. Might be doing some straightening. Yeah, that should be I don't think that should be that shape. I think it's supposed to be straight, so it might require a little bit of a crazy. I'm gonna save the brakes and the steering and everything for next week because I gotta measure some stuff for geometry and figure some more shit out. Anyway guys, I will catch up with you in a little bit. All right guys, that is gonna do it for this episode on Felony, my 68 Mustang. Probably gonna be a good amount of work to try and correct that. I'm looking at possibly open up the floor in the torque box and getting in the back of it and getting everything straight and true and fixing that seam. It's gonna be a lot of spot weld drilling, it's gonna be a lot of cutting. We got a lot to do over there, so realistically, there's a good amount of work, a good amount of sheet metal work and correction with the body. Chomping at the bit to get going on it. I've got a whole bunch of new tools coming that are probably gonna help with the whole situation. I'm getting really excited to kind of develop a new set of skills. I've never really done metal work to this caliber, to this level of having to figure stuff out. If you have the ideas and you have the perseverance and stuff, you can figure things out. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to kind of up my game just that much more with building cars. I want to thank everybody for their support with the channel over the last few weeks. We've gone from like 800 subscribers to 1,500 in a matter of weeks. I'm getting tons of feedback, tons of great comments, and making all sorts of new friends on Instagram, here on YouTube. So I really appreciate you guys watching. Please, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and sign up for notifications. Feel free to hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. I love talking about cars. Love hearing all your guys' stories. It's a really good time. That kind of adds a really fun element to what I already enjoy, which is making videos and sharing them with all of you. So once again, thank you guys for all your support. And I really, I can't wait to get this thing on the road and go out and drive and meet some more of you. I gotta get this episode out. I corrupted a card already. I'm falling behind. And then I gotta get back down here and get back to work. So, as always, please be kind, drive hard, and at some point, when I'm done bashing, scraping my knuckles on rusty old sheet metal, I'll see you on the road. Have a good one.